Welcome back. The coronavirus pandemic has left millions of Americans out of work. And just this morning, the Labor Department is out with jaw-dropping new numbers. Here to break them down for us, NBC senior business correspondent Stephanie Ruhle. Steph, we knew these numbers were going to be rough, but how rough are they?
As rough as they could get. Right now, I just want to hug the country. Last week, we had record-breaking numbers with over 3 million people filing. That number has surged to over 6 million this week. So for people who are saying, you know, we already saw the worst, now loans are coming, people aren't losing their jobs, that's just not the case. 6 million, that's a massive number. Before we saw 3 million last week, the week before, to put it in perspective, was just 200,000. So I know in the last week, you and I have seen tons of people writing in saying, I'm desperate to file an unemployment claim. The phone lines are busy. The websites aren't working. Here's why. It's not that people aren't eligible, because we know the new CARE Act has expanded unemployment to include so many more people. But the reason those claims aren't going through yet, just think about that, Hoda. 6 million people in the last week, and I don't want to make you completely worried, but the St. Louis Fed has said it could be even more than that. They worry that unemployment could spike to 31% in this country. In the Great Depression, it was around 25%. And even when we come back, I do want you to just think about this. It's going to change the way we live. The restaurant industry has lost millions of jobs in the last few weeks. And when we come back, social distancing will still be in place. Once you've got 6 feet between every customer, every table, you're going to be taking half the tables out of restaurants, and you won't be seeing a crowded bar in the foreseeable future.
So when you think about where the bottom is, like where is the bottom in your professional opinion?
We just don't know yet, right? This is all a matter of time. When are we going to get through that? And we talk so much about this is obviously tied to the health risk. Once we get to the peak, and we're not at the peak numbers yet, then we can start to go down. But you've been reporting all morning long about new hotspots, new states, as this is moving its way across the country. And the thing I would really think about when you look at the numbers this big and what the true bottom is what our new normal will be. You know, early on we had said, you know, things are going to snap right back. We know they're not going to snap right back, but at the same time, as far as the overall economy goes, we want people to feel some level of comfort because the government is taking unprecedented action to help people right now. Last week, when the chairman of the Fed joined the Today Show talking to Savannah, he was there saying we are doing everything. And I can tell you the actions that the Fed is taking to ensure that banks can keep lending, to make sure the system is working, that's happening. And what the CARE Act has done in terms of unemployment benefits, affordable housing, SNAP benefits, these are huge. And people should also take comfort in the fact that we know more aid is coming. And those checks are going to be coming in the next few weeks to people, those direct checks for $1,200. This is scary. These numbers are scary. But people are going to get through this together.
All right, let's take some questions, Steph. People have a lot of them. I've got Kathleen from Facebook. Take a listen.
Has any provision been made for flat rate workers? For example, what happens to auto technicians who aren't getting customer repair jobs?
Good question from Kathleen.
It's a really good question. So it matters state by state. But what they could look into here is short-term compensation. So what her employer can do is give her the lower rate, and then she could seek unemployment benefits to make up the prorated rest.
All right, we've got another one here. I've got Sarah May on Facebook. Let's roll that tape.
Good morning. My question is, can a large company reduce support staff and change a salaried employee's pay without employee consent?
Can they cut your pay?
Well, they can absolutely do it without your consent, but they can't do it without letting you know. They have to notify every employee if they're changing their benefits, changing their compensation. They can't lower anybody's compensation below minimum wage, but they absolutely have the discretion, especially at a time like this. One thing I would say, we are seeing across industries, people in top executive positions cut their own pay, cut their own benefits, because right now they're trying to think creatively, because it's not that they're losing demand for their businesses or that those businesses aren't going to be viable on the other side of this. But Hoda, we've got to remember, almost every industry out there, their revenues have disappeared in the last few weeks, and they're scrambling to make payroll.
Well, are there people hiring? Is there a silver lining? Is there somewhere people out of work can go?
Okay, I'm going to give you multiple silver linings. So yes, there are jobs out there. It's going to require a shift. So retail is the perfect example. We know that lots of retail jobs have disappeared in traditional brick and mortar places. JCPenney, Macy's, The Gap announcing furloughs. But at the same time, Walmart, Amazon, CVS hiring hundreds of thousands of people, not just to work in warehouses or distribution centers, but they're also offering quite a few jobs at home, because many of us who are part of working families, working moms who are now home with their kids may have jobs that they'd like to go to, but they can't. There's a number of companies out there. You can go to their websites. Amazon, as I said, perfect example. Go right to amazon.jobs, and you can type in your state, your city, and it's got a full listing. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of jobs out there. So it's not that demand has disappeared, but it's certainly shifted. And for people that work, let's say, in traditional brick and mortar stores, we know that the American mall was suffering before this. It's really suffering now. So you're seeing a shift in jobs, and a lot of e-commerce jobs are popping up, and those jobs are likely to stay.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. And if you have more questions for Steph, go to our Facebook page. We are doing this in collaboration with Facebook. You can share yours on Facebook or Instagram, the hashtag #WithYouToday.